Hello! Welcome to another FanDuel free pick'em contest. It's been a few weeks since I made a video. I've been enjoying the weather and my family. During the time off, I got first place in the FanDuel spring football contest. I won $119. This video is about the Captain Morgan pick'em contest. The prize is $3,000. First question. How many of Saturday's 11 matches will be won by the road team? Regardless of whatever sports book you use, they all have the home team as a favorite this Saturday. There will be some upsets, some draws and whatnot. But the answer to this question is, how many times do you think Vegas will be very wrong? I'm willing to bet it'll be at least once. If you put a parlay on this and give each home team plus half a goal, the odds go to every fourth game is like a coin flip to be wrong. So with a little math, that's like statistically, we're looking at 2 or 3 is the best guess on how many upsets there'll be for the road team to win. I don't think it'll be 0 or 1, and I definitely don't think it'll be the 6+. This 4 or 5 isn't a horrible pick either. I'm going with 2 or 3. What will be the most total goals scored in a match? On a typical week, every game has like 0 to 4 goals scored. Every other week we'll get a 9-goal game, something like that. So it's possible. Any of these are possible, but I'm going with 4 to 5. I think that's pretty safe. How many players will score multiple goals? All right, so there's 9 games been played by most teams, and the leading goal scorer has 7 goals. That means the leading goal scorer is averaging less than a goal per game. But of course, there's players who have 5 goals and 4 of them have come in one game. So multiple goals happen by a person. If you go with the odds, you're going to want to pick none, but you have to go against the odds in some of these. I'm going to pick 1. 2 is possible. The 3+ that's very unlikely. Will any team have more than 70% possession? If you were to ask me this about any individual game, I'm saying no, definitely no. But when you're talking about 11-game slate, it's possible somebody does. I do think 70% is a little excessive. We'll probably see a couple games in the high 60s, but I don't think. I'm picking no for this. What will the match result be between CF Montreal and Orlando City? The book's got Montreal as the favorite. I think that's what I'm going to go with. A draw is also possible. Will either team in the Atlanta United versus Chicago Fire match keep a clean sheet? It's been, in the last 30 days, the only time these teams have allowed a clean sheet was in 0-0 draws. That's probably will be the score of this game. Unless, of course, this is the 9-goal game that we weren't expecting that comes out of nowhere. But I'm going to go with, yes, one of these teams won't score. Will New York City Football Club win their match against Sporting Kansas City by multiple goals? NYC's been pretty good. They've beat a few teams by 3 goals. Kansas City's lost a few games by multiple goals. I could see this being like a 2-1 game. I don't think either of these are a bad choice, but I'm going to go with no. Which of these teams will score more goals in their match? Minnesota versus Cincinnati or LAFC versus Philadelphia? So the LAFC game, you got an elite offense versus an elite defense. And the Minnesota United versus Cincinnati game, 2 mediocre teams playing each other. LAFC has more goals scored than anybody, but Philadelphia has the least amount allowed over anybody. It's hard to compare 2 games that are so different on who's going to score the most, an elite offense versus elite defense against, comparing it to 2 mediocre teams. If I had to pick one of these, I would pick Minnesota, but since I don't have to pick one of these, I'm going to pick same amount. How many goals will the DC United score against the Houston Dynamo? DC United is bad. And by bad, I don't mean like, that's one bad. Houston Dynamo aren't bad. DC United doesn't score very much, but then they'll score 2 goals, which is like 25% of the goals Austin has allowed all season was against a team like DC. So the 2's possible, the 0's possible. I'm going with 1 because I don't see it being 3 or more. Will Ola Kamada score a goal? He's the leading scorer for DC, scoring a little less than half of the team's goals. Since I got DC scoring 1 goal, this is a little less than a coin flip. So I'm not going to answer this question. I'm just not going to tell you my answer because I don't want to be responsible for my answer. Because it's like a 50-50 shot. So I'll leave this one up to you. Remember, all these picks I'm just telling you what the odds are in favor of and adjusting them a little bit to how I feel. But if you want to win the grand prize, you're going to have to go against some of these because remember, Vegas is like the weatherman. The people who make these odds get paid a lot of money to get it right half the time. So literally the best strategy you can do is pick about half of these that the odds say they'll be and then put a blindfold on and change half your picks. I've shown you it's possible. I recently won another contest for $119. Not bad for answering free questions. And I'm due to win one of these Captain Morgans. I can feel it coming. Last week's winners split the $3,000. Everyone got $250 each. Next week, I think it'll be you and me splitting this. I wish you all luck. Come get some of this free money with me.